The man who once had the world at his feet has vanished from the sport he once dominated. At 55, Phil Mickelson, the six-time major champion, the oldest major winner in history, the man with 45 PGA Tour victories and over $96 million in career earnings, has missed all four majors in a single season for the first time since 1990. But the silence isn't just about golf. It's about a family health crisis that has kept him off the course for most of the year. It's about bombshell allegations of misconduct that have shattered his carefully constructed image. And it's about a wife who has stood by him with extraordinary grace and unwavering love through it all. What happened to the man who was supposed to be the next Arnold Palmer? The answer is far more complicated than fans ever realized. Phil Mickelson has not competed since LIV Golf South Africa in March. One tournament. That's it. In an entire season. The man who once defied age, winning the PGA Championship at 50 years old and becoming the oldest major winner in golf history, now can't even make it to the first tee. His team cited a private family health matter for his extended absence. The details were vague, and the speculation was rampant. He missed the Masters. He withdrew from the PGA Championship at Aronimink, with Max Homa replacing him. He was absent from the U.S. Open. And now, the Open Championship at Royal Birkdale is off the table too. It marks the first time since 1990 he has not played in at least one major in a calendar year. But the truth is far more heartbreaking than anyone imagined. According to friends of the family, one of his children had been unwell. While the golf world debated his scandals, he was quietly dealing with a family crisis that no parent should ever have to face. His spokesperson confirmed, Mr. Mickelson's priority is to become the husband, father, and man his family deserves. Right now, that means giving his full attention to a private family health matter. The man who once had something to say about everything now has nothing to say at all. While Mickelson was dealing with his family crisis, a bombshell investigation by legendary golf writer Alan Shipnuck dropped on Scratch, detailing allegations so serious that they shattered the carefully constructed image of one of golf's most beloved figures. The report, which interviewed 19 sources, painted a picture of a man who had been hiding in plain sight for decades. The most explosive allegation came from Ashley Perez, the former wife of fellow PGA Tour and LIV golf player Pat Perez. She claimed that during the 2015 Barclays tournament in New Jersey, Mickelson invited the couple to stay at his villa at Liberty National Golf Course. While Pat excused himself to use the restroom, leaving Ashley and Mickelson alone on the patio, she claims the six-time major champion took out his phone and showed her a full-body picture of himself naked with an erection while flexing one bicep. Ashley told Shipnuck, Phil says to me, I'm going to leave my bedroom door open tonight. When Pat falls asleep, I want you to come see me. She declined his advances and didn't immediately tell her husband, saying she hadn't wanted to create a scene mid-tournament. When Perez was eventually told, he confronted Mickelson. In a 2022 podcast, Perez said, I have a different hate for Phil than most people. Phil crossed the line with me that is just uncrossable and unforgivable. The Scratch report also revealed that Mickelson had abruptly departed from 3 high-end golf clubs, the Madison Club, the Bridges, and the Farms, with sources at all 3 saying personal conduct was a primary factor. The most recent incident occurred at the Farms Golf Club in Rancho Santa Fe, California, where a female employee accused Mickelson of non-consensual and inappropriate physical contact. According to multiple sources, Mickelson approached the employee in the clubhouse, made non-consensual and inappropriate physical contact with her, and was confronted by club officials mid-round before being told to vacate the premises. His display of achievements in the clubhouse has since been removed. For a man who was once golf's most relatable superstar, the allegations have turned him into its most tragic figure. Then came the moment nobody expected. Amy Mickelson, Phil's wife of 35 years, broke her silence. In a rare public statement, she expressed her unwavering support for her husband. Throughout their 35-year relationship, his wife, Amy Mickelson, has supported Mr. Mickelson and their family with extraordinary grace, unwavering love, and the belief that people are measured not only by their failures, but by what they do to make them right. The statement also addressed the allegations directly. Some of the allegations circulating about Mr. Mickelson are false, and others revisit mistakes he has already acknowledged, publicly or privately. Stacking the disputed claims next to the ones he has owned does not make them credible. It instead contributes to a false and misleading narrative. The statement called false any suggestion that Amy Mickelson orchestrated her husband's departures from golf clubs. Mrs. Mickelson is not a public figure. She did not choose this spotlight, and there was no legitimate journalistic reason to drag her into it, the statement read. The public show of support is particularly striking given the nature of the allegations. Mickelson is accused of cheating on his wife with multiple women over many years, with elaborate schemes to hide his location from her. According to the Scratch report, Mickelson would allegedly give his phone to club employees and pay them $500 to drive around the course for 3 or 4 hours so that Amy, who was tracking him, would think he was playing golf. Yet Amy has chosen to stand by him, refusing to let the allegations define their marriage. Phil himself has acknowledged her support over the years. In an Instagram post in September 2023, he wrote, "I'm so grateful for her strength in helping us get through the many challenges I've created for us. Because of her love, support, and commitment, I'm back on track to being the person I want to be." The woman who was once supported by Phil during her own battle with breast cancer is now the one providing the unwavering support. When the allegations surfaced, the golf world expected Mickelson to stay silent, as he had for months. Instead, his camp launched a blistering counterattack that has stunned everyone. Mickelson's attorney, Tom Clare, released a lengthy statement calling the Scratch investigation an anonymously sourced drive-by shooting, heavy on implication but unsupported by any on-the-record sources. The statement accused Shipnuck of using implication to bolster his reporting and lambasted Scratch media more broadly for its historical links to the PGA Tour. The statement argued that Shipnuck prioritized a compelling clickbait narrative over an accurate one. It added, "Credibility is not earned by publishing the most provocative narrative. It is earned through transparency, verification, and a clear distinction between fact, inference, and speculation." But the most critical detail came in the response to the Ashley Perez allegation. The statement claimed Shipnuck repeats an allegation regarding a photograph while downplaying a critical fact contained in his own reporting. During a private call in which Mr. Mickelson reached out to apologize for his behavior, he immediately challenged the central premise of that allegation by asking, "You mean topless?" That distinction matters, the statement continued. Mr. Mickelson's willingness to apologize for his conduct should not be misconstrued as an admission of every allegation made against him. On the claims he had been forced out of golf clubs, the statement was unequivocal. Mr. Mickelson has never been expelled from a golf club. His membership has never been revoked by a golf club. Those decisions were his alone. The statement also accused Scratch of harboring a grudge against Mickelson over his defection to LIV Golf. According to the statement, Scratch was created by the PGA Tour, operated as a PGA Tour-owned media brand for nearly a decade, and in 2024 was contributed by the PGA Tour to Pro Shop, a new media company in which the PGA Tour retained a minority ownership stake and became a strategic partner. None of those relationships means Scratch cannot report independently, the statement said. They do, however, create a corporate relationship that reasonable readers may consider relevant when evaluating an extensive investigation into Phil Mickelson, one of the most consequential players ever to leave the PGA Tour for LIV Golf. The legal battle lines have been drawn, and the war is far from over. The scandal has come at a devastating time for Mickelson's professional career. He has officially withdrawn from the Open Championship, marking the first time in 17 years he will miss golf's oldest major. The 2026 season will be remembered as the year Phil Mickelson vanished from a sport he once dominated. LIV Golf, the breakaway league he helped define, is facing its own existential crisis. Saudi Arabia's public investment fund has announced it will pull its financial backing after the 2026 season, ending more than $5 billion in investment since 2021. The league's future is uncertain, and if LIV collapses, Mickelson faces a brutal reality with nowhere to play. Former ESPN host Trey Wingo put it bluntly, "I can promise you one person that you'll never see in any way in an official capacity with the PGA Tour is Phil Mickelson. That bridge has been burned, detonated, destroyed, nuked, lasered to death. There is no building that bridge back." Billy Horschel recently said that Lefty might not be back on the PGA Tour no matter what. Despite his being a lifetime member and having done a lot, there are many things Mickelson did and said that have made his path back impossible. The man who once had the world at his feet now has nowhere to go. There's something deeply sad about this story. One of his former golf buddies told Scratch, "It's a very sad story. You should have been Arnold Palmer. Phil had the same charisma, the same star power. People loved him everywhere he went. My take is that he came to believe his own bullshit. He thought he was bulletproof because his whole life he had always skated on everything. But in the end, he had too many demons. He got consumed by his own darkness." The 2018 U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills was an early turning point. Mickelson chasing after a moving putt and striking it before it stopped felt less like gamesmanship than arrogance. He later admitted the penalty was a calculation, not a mistake. Golf is forgiving of errors. Then came LIV Golf, the defining rupture. Mickelson had legitimate complaints about the PGA Tour, but the way he chose to pursue leverage was disastrous. His infamous comments describing the Saudis as scary mother are, while still treating them as a means to reshape golf, made him look not principled, but transactional. Rory McIlroy captured the mood at the time when he called Mickelson's comments naive, selfish, egotistical, ignorant. That criticism stuck because it matched what many already suspected. Phil Mickelson is one of the greatest golfers who ever lived. 6 majors, 45 PGA Tour wins, a legacy that should have placed him alongside the legends of the game. Instead, he finds himself isolated, his reputation in ruins, and his future in professional golf uncertain. The questions now are impossible to ignore. Was the withdrawal his choice, or did the sport finally decide it had had enough? Can he ever rebuild his legacy, or is this the end of the road for one of golf's most polarizing figures? Phil Mickelson's story is far more complicated than fans ever realized. At 55, he is fighting a family health crisis, battling devastating allegations, and facing an uncertain professional future. His wife, Amy, stands by him with extraordinary grace. His children are dealing with private struggles, and the golf world is divided about what to do with his legacy. One thing is certain. The man who once had the world at his feet now has nowhere to go. And that's the most tragic story of all.